Ethiopia and Humanitarian Aid. It's not uncommon to see aid organizations of various forms asking alms and stretching their hands in the streets of major cities of the world. I personally met few of them, and in one instant I started a monthly contribution and continued to do so for several months. However, I suddenly realized these organizations are not aid organizations per se. Instead, the money collected goes to those workers in different levels. Most of the workers receive huge sum of money as a salary and other benefits. On the other hand, aid organizations have history of unclean hands working with both government and rebel groups. Ethiopia is not exception. There are thousands of non-governmental organizations, and most of them proliferated since the advent of the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Democratic Front regime in 1991. Both local and international organizations were given licenses to operate. Among the famous names of international NGOs include UNICEF, World Food Programme, Action Aid, Save the Children, Oxfam, World Vision, Plan, and others. These organizations that were mentioned earlier are used to fill the coffers and pockets of few people that are working in organizations. People on the ground at most get safety net programs which are designed to perpetuate poverty rather than eradicate it entirely. On top of that, the organizations work closely with the country from which they are originated. They work consistently with the foreign policy and national interests of the countries they seem to receive the donations. Now, when we come to the current situation of Ethiopia, the aid organizations voiced their huge concern over Tigray, a province in the northern part of Ethiopia. There was countless stories after stories developed on mega medias to dictate the narratives and shape the opinion of the public at large. They have forced many people to believe, including Ethiopians. Now Tigray is free from conflict and people receive aid by both air and land, including food, medications, etc. I believe that TPLF leadership was instrumental in executing the United States and its allies' policy in the Horn of Africa, as they were Ethiopian prime movers in the last 3 decades. Hence, the United States believe this leadership should survive and negotiate with the Abiy Ahmed's administration so the status quo of Ethiopia in the eyes of America remain intact. So the pressure mounts to the extent that the Ethiopian government continues to provide assistance to the Tigray region despite the conflict is ongoing. Even if currently there ain't any conflict in Tigray, the TPLF warmongering activities taking place in the Amhara region, and this region became the epicenter of humanitarian crisis. The United Nations and those aid organizations under its jurisdiction never mentioned a word about such a calamity. Now reports are saying well over 1 million people are displaced and thousands died strangled by TPLF's terrorist activities. My understanding is that the croaking sound we hear from aid organizations such as World Food Programme or UNICEF is only related to the political stance of those donor nations. It's obvious if the real concern was humanity, then the Amharas and Afars' plight wouldn't have been ignored. Thank you.